Hello everybody, welcome back, and what we're going to be looking at today is the next grammar module. This is going to be a short one, but a pretty important one, because today's subject is going to be compound subjects. And what is a compound? Well, if you think about it like in science, it's when you merge two things together. So when we have a compound subject, we have two subjects in the same sentence. And whether or not they form a singular or a plural, because the idea would be normally, you'd say a compound subject is two things. It's got to be plural. Not always. Now, this involves very often the use of conjunctions. So, for example, the word and, very, very common conjunction to be used in compound subjects. And usually indicates a plural subject, but not always. So, we're going to start with the ones where it is. So, for instance, Martha and I were invited. If you took Martha and I, that's two separate people, and so you would turn that into we. We were invited. Makes total sense. You leave it alone like that. If, however, you also then have the next one, the kitchen and the den need new paint. The kitchen is one thing, the den is another thing. We're combining them. They're two separate rooms, but if I wanted to speak of them as one pronoun, it's they. They need new paint. Fine. However, the exception comes when the and creates a single entity, like the examples you're going to see down here. So, for example, bacon and eggs is my favorite dish. Now, can you talk about bacon and eggs separately? Yes. But when you indicate it as my favorite dish, then you're talking about it as one thing. As if you walked into a restaurant and said, which entree are you ordering for your breakfast? I'm going to have the bacon and eggs. That's my entree. It's the one thing I'm having. Peanut butter and jelly is the most popular sandwich in the cafeteria. Peanut butter and jelly in that case is one single thing. Therefore, it is the most popular sandwich because it's only one kind of sandwich. There are ways you could talk about peanut butter and jelly separately, but you're not doing it here. A lot of this is context. Now, this can also apply to store names. So, like Abercrombie and Fitch is a store. So, it is having a sale. They're not two separate people. It's one store brand name. Let's take a look at when it becomes a problem with the word or. See, and is a lot easier to work with. Or is when it becomes challenging. Because when you're using the word or, it can be singular or it can be plural depending on which subject is closest to the verb. I'm saying that again. It depends on which subject is closest to the verb. So my brother or my sister wants to borrow my car. Only one person wants to borrow it. Now, in this case, it doesn't matter whether brother or sister is closer because they're both singular. So it's either going to be he wants to borrow my car or she wants to borrow my car. No difference. The next one there is where it gets tricky. My brothers or my sister wants to borrow my car. So since sister is closer, she wants. And then the final one, my brother or my sisters want to borrow the car. I only care about the one that's closer. In this case, it's sisters. That becomes they. They want to borrow my car. So this was our very quick look at compound subjects when it comes to subject-verb agreement. And again, this is just going to get more complicated. So we're just building this one up very, very slowly. Hope you have a good day. Hope to see you in the next module.